Hey, good morning, good day, good whenever you're watching this because it's YouTube. Um, Welcome to Natural Farming, Korean Natural Farming office hours for July 14th, 2024. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of a natural farming community. Got an hour. Can ask, whatever you want, natural farming stuff. And if not, then we got we'll get into some Madaj. What's up? We got some members in the house. Brought to you by Pure KNF Foundation. We got our newest member, Thomas, in the house. We got Goofman. We got Christoph. What's up, guys? What's up, Cecily? Yo, all the way from down under Western Australia coming in. Hopefully it's still raining out there. Doing good for you. It's a beautiful winter for you, I guess. So let's see here. Yeah, we'll start with a bit of higher wisdom and see what's in store. So today is preponderance of the small, of the microbes. In a great storm, a wise bird returns to her nest and waits patiently. This is a time of difficult and dangerous conditions. You should not be seduced into struggling, striving, or seeking solutions through aggressive actions. Success is only met by waiting modestly for the guidance of the creative. Trying times are a test of our integrity and our commitment to proper principles. The ordinary person reacts to challenge with fear, anger, mistrust of fate, and a stubborn desire to strike out and eliminate difficulty once and for all. While the temptation to act in this way can be great, to do so can only lead to misfortune and the loss of hard-won ground. The way of the superior person faced with difficulty is that of non-action, rather than action. She does not strive after recognition or resolution to attempt to gain a higher position by conquering others. Instead, she retreats to her center and cultivates humility, patience, and conscientiousness. On the path of acceptance, self-inquiry, and self-improvement, we obtain the aid of the creative and meet with success after the storm has passed. Yeah, man. Tumultuous times call for just chilling out, man. Wait till that stuff passes. Wait till it goes, Hurricanes hitting the United States. People being shot at. All kinds of wild stuff going on. But hopefully you are finding peace out there. You are finding, resolution in the small, the tiny, the microscopic even. That your gardens are growing well, that you're enjoying the summer and or winter because of wherever you are. There's a lot of good happening in this world, and focusing on that and doing that and just taking easy, we'll see what happens this year coming through. But yeah, hopefully things, hopefully your garden grows well. Hopefully your food supply is in abundant, being well. Yeah, I think, I watch a lot of prepper videos because I'm kind of like, I think it makes sense to be prepared. And I always see people talking about, what's the best SHTF rifle. And it's like, well, if you think about it and SHTF happens and you have to use a rifle, then you sure as heck better have a good garden and know how to replant it and resow it and grow and take care of all of your food resources. I often think about making a parody prepper channel and standing there with, like a full on, you know, guns, ammo, everything, and being like, how to prepare to get to Costco when the SHTF, right? Because that's most people's mindset is like, how are you going to get to Costco to take care of things when society breaks down? And it's like, have you thought through to think that Costco probably isn't going to be full of stuff? Yeah, having in any rifle, mainly for hares and birds, yeah, the 22 is probably your best bet, right? 22 and or one of those Benjamin air rifles. Those things are pretty pretty gnarly. But that way you don't have, you can just put any lead ball in there, form your own lead balls, go back to like musket action with air powered rifles. Just sit there with a pump and pump that thing up and you'd have pretty much an infinite supply. That's probably more closer to the truth than, putting on body armor and thinking that you're going to have to give someone lead poisoning. Because as soon as I was talking with my wife yesterday as we're moving our dairy cow, and I'm like, as soon as you shoot somebody, like, if stuff is going like completely haywire and you shoot somebody, hey, then that's cool. But as soon as like any order's restored, you're gonna have to come to justice for what you did, and you can't just be like some vigilante blasting folks out there. You're gonna have to, and if you ever want to shop at Costco again, odds of you shooting somebody is like, they're probably gonna get you with a warrant. So if things catastrophically break down to the point where you can't go to Costco, then you're probably going to need to learn how to farm and sow seeds and live completely sustainably and have integrated livestock and learn about animal husbandry and all these other things. So point being, I think that a lot of these prepper channels are focused on the wrong subject, right? Like if you're not like the most prepper is somebody who knows how to, repair things, live within their means fast, like live without eating, have a good water supply, know how to sow seeds, know how to can, know how to preserve through the winter, know how to dry meat properly, know how to raise animals, have them breed, and who wants to be the last person standing anyway? I personally, my take on it is I want to die free. You could say already that maybe I'm not free because there's so many things, and like ultimately when you tread the path of self-sovereignty and self-sustainability and those types of self-regeneracy and these things, your freedom goes way down because, you're actually more free in a sense, but then you're like, I always every day have to go milk the cow and keep the cow's waters and move the cows and do all that stuff. So, for the price of sovereignty is like absolute is husbandry, animal husbandry is the price of sovereignty. And so it's like, it's less freedom. But it's not. I mean, it's all how you weigh it, right? There's nothing out there is free. And last man standing. I don't know. I just don't want to be, the liberty to your milk cow is priceless. Yeah. So anyway, I oftentimes contemplate making these videos for like, just parody videos of preppers, because it's like, it's like storing food. Okay, great. Everyone should have some food stored, whether it's whatever, the longer the shelf life on it, the better. Well, assuming you want to eat that, but like having meals ready to eat type of thing. You should always, everyone should have that. If you don't have that, you should probably get a little bit of it. But relying on that, like certain people I see, like channels will advertise like buying like a 5 year supply of food. It's like, yeah, and then what? And after you've been eating this like freeze dried, just whatever food for how many years, like if you don't go crazy from that, I don't know. And what do you think? You're just gonna like loot and pillage the other people that pass away from not being prepped? It's like if you don't know how to sustain yourself and actually put time and energy into, agriculture. If you're not an agriculturalist, but you think you have like night vision goggles or a thermal or like this or that, it's like, you know, like thinking you're going to defend against humans and you don't know how to farm or provide your own food. Like, oh man. So anyway, I think about making parody videos on that just because it's so fun, and maybe I could get sponsored by a channel for gold. Buy gold, uh, you know. Um, but the actual truth is buy a milk cow and learn how to keep a milk cow, because a cow is like, oh man, cow is freedom, sovereignty right there. I mean, that's just my opinion, man. I was also watching a video this morning. I kind of, watch a fair amount of YouTube, and I was talking about the fintech, financial scammers and stuff, and just they're telling you to take stock picks, but they can't give you financial advice. So they say, this is what's in my portfolio, and you know what's in my portfolio? Cows, chickens, grass, bananas, AR-10s, ammunition, some prepper food, but like the know-how to make food, how to repair, like welders. Once I run out of fuel, what am I going to do? Well, that's actually where I'm working on my portfolio, is getting more energy sovereign and getting energy independent. Although I learned in 2020, you're only one bolt breaking away from disaster. Like as much as you think you've prepped, you're only one bolt away from disaster. So yeah, dude lives on the street with his sheep. Yeah, and the sheep and the milk. Like if you're not doing integrated animal farming, you're probably not gonna survive the end of if it came to where you had to defend your property with lead, and you're probably not going to survive if you don't have integrated animal husbandry in your repertoire. And I always think about it. I always think, man, if there's a nuclear blast, it's like, man, my cow. Like, sure, I could survive, but if my cow doesn't survive, do I even want to survive? It's like, oh no. So I hope it doesn't go the nuclear winter route in that thing, because I'm like, my cow. I'm more concerned about my cow than anything else. Well, my dogs too. All my farm animals, not to rate my farm animals in order of importance, but the cow is probably one of the most important farm animals. They do so much for me and the land and everything. And, I know most natural farmers would think they're OHN. Oh my gosh, my can't have medicine. Like, right, there's an earthquake. It's like, how's my can't have medicine? Is it okay? But all the ferments and everything, I just think of, man, like getting the IMOs back out to reheal the land and all that. It's just like, oh my gosh. But I recommend on some level, you get prepped, whether that's a bag full of stuff that you can have to, like, if a disaster hits, no matter what it is, you have something. Don't just be like not prepped. And if you're American, you should definitely own a rifle, just straight up, and most likely a 22. Okay. And you should probably have 2,000 to 5,000 rounds, because it's like, how much is that? That's a $500 investment to have those things. And you definitely should have at least that, because in other places that don't have guns, it's like, hey man, whatever, you're on your own. You should at least maybe get a baton or something. I don't know, but you gotta be a true American, and have a 22 at least, please. For Master Cho, do it. Have a 22. So anyway, when the STFH hits, then just, you know, going back to your center, making it to your farm, protecting yourself, protecting your family, water, food, and also you got to be fit, man. You know, I don't know if you can see my muscles flexing. Oh yeah, I've been working out. You know, because you know if you're not fit, you're not trained, you're just waiting to get, you know, uh, if you're not eating, you're someone else's food. So anyway, you know, all those things, peace, love. I really recommend peace and love, but I also recommend self-defense, being able to take care of your own, because if you can't take care of yourself, you're going to become a force divider versus a force multiplier, and you are going to take from somebody else, and or you are just going to become a liability. So become an asset, become prepped, know how to do food, get into the, you know, animal agriculture, all those things. I don't know. Times are changing. You know, people are getting shot at, man. They're like, oh gosh, is it going to be a civil war in America this year? I don't know. But, you know, what I can tell you is if all that happens, you know, you know, office hours may not occur because I may not have the bandwidth to get to you. But I tell you what, I'm still here on the farm doing what I know. And, you know, so if for some reason, I don't know, just I'm not trying to make Illuminati predictions here or anything, but, you know, you can always know that Hawaii's at 19.5 latitude, 155 longitude. And, you know, so if you can figure out how to navigate via the stars and build a little rickety boat and sail across the most calm water out there called the Pacific Ocean based on the right time, and learn the myths to sail, and learn how to sail by the stars and knowing the currents and know how to follow the seabirds, you can probably make it here to Hawaii to learn what you should have learned before the STHF or whatever, before the dog poop hit the proverbial wind turbine. You know, but just learn, go download the YouTubes, make a thing, put it in your knowledge bank. In fact, practice it, put it into practice today, and all those good things out there. Learn how to tie some knots, you know, learn some basic first aid. I don't know, take care of yourself, because it's more than just learning to farm. You gotta, you know, in today's day and age, you gotta be completely independent in so many ways. And YouTube is a great resource for that. Learn. If you got other priorities, then deal with those things, but take your, you know, your fun time to learn. It's my advice to you. As things get more wild, you have to become more sovereign, more independent, and this is a great path to be on. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of, you know, dad advice. You can tell which channels I watch. Beck, yeah. If anyone knows, drop those in the comments below. You know, always fun to tune in. Get a kettlebell. Yeah, I don't know if a kettlebell. I was trained by Army Rangers. That's just, you know, that's who I was trained by, and kettlebells and all that. You don't need that. You know, all you need is your own weight. Push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, little bit of running, you know, that's all you need. You don't need a weight to do anything, you know, if anything, a jug of water or something, you know, but just push-ups, sit-ups, you know, you're going to be the stronger, more resilient person out there, just lifting your own body weight and doing those things. Plus, just get out there and farm. By the time you're done farming, you're going to be ripped, you know. Build a sustainable farm. You don't have to be like thick, like muscles. That's actually really not the strongest body type. Strongest body type is like similar to, or most resilient body type is similar to me. Like you look at all the dudes, they're like me, man. They're just scrawny, but can put the muscles where it matters. And it's the skills, it's the smarts, you know, it's the know-how. It's all those things to be able to move. Yeah, Tyler's out there doing some endurance running 100 miles. Yeah, man. Oh, whew, I don't know. You and 3 of 7 project, you know, chatting, doing 100 miles, man. For me, being able to ruck and carry weight for about 5 to 10 miles is about where I want to be. Be able to move with about 80 pounds of gear, about 40 pounds of gear at my age now. Get a ruck and be able to move and shoot and scoot and carry the things, going 100 miles, man. You're a champ, I tell you. But I don't ever see 100 miles in my future. I mean, 100 miles is like, I live on an island that's only like 200 miles around. It's like 100 miles. What am I going to go to the other side of the island where I have less things prepared? I don't know, man. But if you're in Oklahoma, man, maybe running 100 miles and getting down to Texas where might make sense. I don't know. Hopefully Oklahoma's pretty prepared too. You could run down to the Texas coast, pick up some seawater, and come back just for the training. And the Ozarks. Yeah, the Ozarks. I was out in the Ozarks one time. We got stuck in the mud, almost died. But again, got to be fit. You got to know how to live. Take care. Always, carry gear to protect for rain and cold weather, and always be prepped, man. Always be prepped. I mean, I broke my knife the other day. Now I'm carrying a fixed blade. I just switched. What am I carrying? A Milwaukee fixed blade now. I just switched to a full tang because my pocket knife broke in half, and I was like, what the hell? So now I'm carrying a fixed blade. You got to just have the right tools on you, always, right? But what gets used more than my fixed blade? Well, I do use my knife a lot, but I also carry a pen with me, right? You never know. I'm also, my magic wand cast spells, right? I spell things with my wand, so anyway, the pen, always having what's in your everyday carry. I see some guys and they like carry a pistol around like aimed right at their junk, and I'm just like, bro, what if that went off? Oh, anyway, yeah, I don't need to EDC a gun, although I do carry a gun with me sometimes when I go down to the river. Yesterday my dogs got a pig and I was aimed straight at it and I was about to shoot it, but I always look really well before I just take random shots at things. And it turns out it was my neighbor's pig that had escaped. Because it's like, what kind of pig just chills and like doesn't run and like hangs out near my fence line? So I was suspicious of this pig because I'd been seeing it for a couple days. So I brought the pistol with me because I was like, I'm going to get this thing. And I'm looking at it. And I look and I see its face all scrunched up. And I'm like, that's a cooney. And I get on the phone, I call my neighbor. I'm like, did your pig escape? And he's like, yeah, a couple months ago, even this thing's been escaped and like out in my bushes, destroying the forest and whatever. I don't care. My property's fenced out. So he's outside where I care about it. But it's like, I'm aiming at this pig and I'm like, that is a domestic pig. And it's like, oh, it's like, oh my gosh. But if you don't carry that stuff, it's like, oh my gosh. And people think Hawaii's safe and stuff. I'm always, when I do go out in the jungle, man, I'm packing heat because you never know when you're going to get hit by a Russian boar. There are pigs out there that are so big, so always being, hopefully I'm not outing myself too bad. It's like you see me in the jungle and it's like, oh, I'm packing. I always at least carry a fixed blade knife with me, or at least I used to carry my pocket knife, but that thing broke in half, man. What the hell? Not the blade that broke, the thing that holds the blade straight. It was like this, and then it broke that way, and I was like, oh man, I was just cutting a piece of cordage, and it's like it broke on a piece of cordage. I'm like, oh man. Anyway, so if you are gonna prep, have multiple knives, full tang, all the things. Lift bags of chicken feet. Yeah, real training. 50 pounds, put them over your head, lift them up. If you got kids, toss them in the air, catch them, please. Don't just toss them. Yeah, the shovel, the wheelbarrow, good back exercises, good for your glutes, yeah. So, yeah, but also having, yeah, full tang. Fixed blades are better, especially if they're full tang. Well, I don't. Yeah, I carry. But the thing is about it is now I got to carry this in my pocket, and it's like way bigger. If I had the small blade one, I could just fold it in half, and it was half this size, and then it fits in my pocket way better, right? But now I got to carry this, and it kind of sticks out. But heck, if I need to break some glass or hit someone on the head, or I don't know what else you use this for. Does anyone know what this hole in the back is for? It's for like spying on people. Hello. I don't know. It's for like cracking skulls or something. I don't know what kind of tool you'd really use that for. Maybe you could hang it from a lanyard so it doesn't fall out of your pocket. But this is not, this isn't the world's best steel. In fact, this is pretty soft, but this was only a $10 knife. So, put some paracord in there. Yeah, maybe. But then you got to worry about the paracord hanging up on things, and you know, yeah. Traditional archery is also an excellent skill to possess, no doubt. I would my wife as an archer, I am not. I always, you know, I always just go with the 22, but pen is mightier than the sword. I tell you what, Hank out there, if you want to challenge me to a to a duel with a pen versus a sword, you're on, bro. Challenge you to a duel. I mean, I get the idea that you can convince people, like, you know, positive things are probably better than negative things, but that's what I'm trying to talk to you about here is, you know, especially in light of events happening and things going on, is just being prepped, right? And knowledge is probably better than all these things, like avoiding a fight completely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm kind of mocking the prepper channels out there, but I'm also showing, like, you know, to a small degree of how I'm prepped, you know. Yeah, a pen versus a wild beast. A wild pig attacks you and you're just like, the pen is mightier than the sword, as long as you hit him in the eyes. But, you know, but you gotta watch out for the tusks. The pen to the eye, I could see that. Or the pen to the throat, maybe, you know. The pen to the temple, maybe. Pen to the eye. You know, pen mightier than the sword. I just think a sword through, yeah, man. The sword to the chest. Maybe you could hit him with this pen to the chest. I don't know. I think that was kind of a euphemism for, like, you know, the guys want to stay positive, right? They're like, I'll just trick you into stuff by you reading my propaganda, and then I won't have to kill you. But ultimately, like, if you come at me, bro, the knife, you know, the shotgun with the correct rounds loaded and with the properly trained operator is mightier than the pen. Let me tell you, 12 gauge is mightier than the pen. You know, yeah. So, yeah, I was watching the guy the other day. I don't know, what is it, 3 on 3 project, or I don't know, whatever, some prepper dude, and he's like trying to decide whether he'd rather want his 22 or his shotgun. I'm like, bro, just go have them both, have them both. STFU, you know, or yeah, like, you know, you gotta have 22, 12 gauge, and 7.62 by 51. Man, those are those are the things to have, and a Benjamin air rifle and a good bow, good arrow, but training for all those things, right? Training. If you're not trained, it doesn't matter. You know, learning how to fish, learning how to farm, learning how to do animal husbandry, learning how to just regenerate the earth. I don't know. I'm ranting on this for quite a while. I hope maybe this is at least entertaining, if not informative for you. Hopefully, you know, how many people are prepped out there? How many people are just waiting to go to Costco when you know, if civil war breaks out? Are you going to go to Costco? Are you going to get your stuff then? I mean, or do you have it now? And or, you know, whatever happens, it's just like the way I look at it is the American economy is just like, it's getting worse, and then it's gonna really get worse. Certain things are getting better. Certain things are getting better. You know, more people tuning into office hours, more people turning, more people doing the right thing, more microbes being spread out there, more things doing it. You know, things are getting better, but on the whole, our currency, our military, everything is just, you know, our whole existence, where, like, you go to the store and look at where things are from, and they're getting more expensive, and they're not made domestically. And you know, you look at our youth, and they're out there, you know, mutilating themselves versus, like, getting strong and fit and being, like, thinking properly and caring about the earth. Like, they like to protest, they like to talk about it, but are they doing anything for it? You know, and there's some, right? But even my brethren, Stephen Cornett, the other day just got burned out on YouTube. You know, like, it's just like good people are falling every day, and there's less agriculture and less meaning. I mean, maybe there's more, maybe there's less. I don't know. You know, it all depends on what you focus on. But main thing is, when, you know, things get wild, you got to go back to your nest and make your things good. So anyway, I just keep ranting on this. I don't know. Seems, you know, yeah. Be a legend to kill a mountain lion with an ink pen. I don't know, man. This pen has done a lot for me. I've written a lot of things with this. A mountain lion, I don't know. You know, if you were, I'm sure there are people out there, you know, like the ultimate gladiator taking it out with a pen. It'd be fun to make a like Doom style video game where you're just stabbing demons with a pen. Like instead of the chainsaw, you're just like, oh. And also, yeah, you gotta have a good, chainsaw. Yeah, if you're a farmer and you don't have a chainsaw, I've been going with the Ryobi 40-volt electric. I love it because I can recharge it, and we have electricity from the sun. So, you know, as long as I have a couple good 6-volt or 40-volt batteries, 6 amp hour, you know, hey man, that thing. Whoo, if you don't have a good chainsaw, I don't know what you're doing. You better have a friend that has a chainsaw, and you better cook very well to keep that friend very well fed. But chainsaw. What would you do without a chainsaw, man? And good electric fencing to keep all your animals in. You know, I should make a prepping video. Just be like, oh, I guess I already did. Here it is live. Here it is prepped today. KNF Prepper Edition. There you go. Yeah. So and if you I'd love to have a convo with Steven. Wish I didn't miss the meeting with him. Yeah. You know, Steven, he's out there. He's a good friend of mine. I'm just going to call him a good friend because I really do adore him. He's a good guy. I've talked to him multiple times, you know, hung out with him. What a good guy. We're on the same page trying to do the right things. Stephen Cornett, nature's always right. What a good guy. And if you join the Pure KNF Foundation, you can catch our interview with him. And in the interview, you will see that he is talking about, he's out on a world tour right now, but he talked about coming by here on his way back to America. So maybe he'll stop in Hawaii. Maybe he'll stay for a week or two, and we can have fun here. And you know, he's also very similar mindset to how I am. You know, he's a closet prepper. I don't know if he shoots rifles and stuff and how well trained he is. I mean, but he definitely has the animals together, or had them together, you know. But the prepper life can be a hard one. So anyway, you know, isolate yourself from everyone else and like these things. So that's why I try and get on the YouTube, try to teach people, try to do the right thing at least once a week. You know, if not the rest of the week, I'm doing it myself. But I the other day too, just since I'm on this rant, I was thinking about Noah's Ark, and I was thinking about this time where it's like, you know, when God told Noah, he's like, bro, build a big ass boat, and gave him the dimensions of the boat, and he's like, also make sure to bring a couple of each animal. And it wasn't like Noah was out there giving workshops to the Nephilim about how to build an ark, and he wasn't out there just like being like, guys, look at my ark, and making like a selfie stick YouTube, like, here's my ark, look at this, and inspiring people to make arks. He was just like, screw all you, I'm making my ark. And so I think about it, you know, oftentimes as here I am, like, you know, prepper mindset, doing the things, building my ark, so to say, my, you know, not actually building a boat, because, you know, God made a rainbow and he said, we will never drown you again. So I'm like, okay, well, we don't got to worry about that one. Whew. Okay, don't need a boat. I don't really like boats and oceans. I mean, I'll go sail. I know how to sail. I learned in Pearl Harbor, thanks to the U.S. Navy. But, you know, prepare to come about, jib ho, baby. All that, you know, tying good knots, doing those things. But you know, water's not really my thing. It's more, I'm a more dry land guy, I've realized in my life. So, you know, don't got to worry about the boats. But I thought about it, and it's like, you know, the modern Noah, he's out there making a YouTube, trying to get the sponsorships, trying to get the, you know, this episode brought to you by Grammarly, or brought to you by BetterHelp. I'll tell you what's BetterHelp. Freaking KNF, bro. You got mental problems? Get in the garden. Get good microbes on you, fix your gut microbiome. We're going to hear about some of that later today. If you're a member of the Pure KNF Foundation, Pure KNF, we got someone to talk about that. But I always think about the modern Noah, right? It's like they're out there live blogging it, like, hey, versus like Noah in the Bible was just like, bro, just build that thing. And people came and they're like, dude, can we get on your boat? It's pretty big. He's like, hell no, shut the door, Ham. And Ham just shut that door, and was like, hell no. I wonder if they brought, how many animals perished in that 40 days. They're like, we got all these animals. And it's like, that's why there's none of the big, juicy, fat animals left. Because they were like, this rhinoceros hippopotamus looks mighty delicious. I'm pretty hungry. It's been 40 days. Cook that one up, Jeb. And Ham. What's the other guy's names? I don't know. I should refresh my Noah thing. But as soon as he got off the boat, he was like, heck yeah, I'm planting a vineyard. And then he laid with his dick out. Best part of the Bible right there in Genesis. He passes out drunk, naked in his tent. His son comes in. Oh my God, Dad's naked. And the other dude's like walking backwards. Kind of dangerous with a naked dude. I don't know. Walking backwards towards a naked dude. Not a way I would do it. Drop a thing on him. He wakes up. He's like, screw that guy that told you that I was naked. And curses him forever. It's like, wow, what a story. What a story. I'm like, wow, inspiration right there. Get on a boat. As soon as you get off the boat, you're the only person left. Plant a vineyard and get plastered drunk, bro. What a story. Glad they wrote that one down. Yeah. Yeah. Wild. Wild. Anyway, what was I on to? We'll just end it with that. The Noah story. Be your own Noah, build your own boat, get on your own ark. Don't care about anyone else. That's the moral of Genesis, I think. At least that chapter of it. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people cursed in that book forever. Okay. I feel awkward now. Let's get on to some Madaj here. Madaj in the house. Probably offended half the people in the chat. It's all good. Oh, actually reading those stories, they're great. Love it. All right, let's do some Madaj. Went biblical today. Yeah, I read the books. I'm not just one of those people that's like, the Bible's great and just read the chapter of John, because John's great. But reading the rest of the books, you're like, wild. This is a wild story. But you know what? It's all good. What are we at? Slide 30. Okay, let's just transition over here. We're doing some Madaj upside down. All right. Let's just sacrilege everything today. The good and bad are one. It's just like the Bible. The good and the bad are one. They're in the same book. Some chapters good, some chapters bad. It's like, okay. Just like this, too much medicine is poison. Adequate amount of poison is medicine. So medicine can be poison. Poison can be medicine, right? I think this is Young Song Cho's theory. It's like, alcohol is medicine for him. I don't know. Anyway. So here he gets into the good and bad of one. And who, by the way, I told you last week to watch the video. Do I still have it open in a tab? I don't think I did. Did I? No. Where's the tab? I closed it. I should go see. Did the view count of the good versus bad theory go up? I don't know. I'll have to look. We'll have to get into that. But values are relative. Okay, values are relative. So this is moral relativism and value relativism. I think this is an absolutely terrible way to go. Values are relative. There are absolutes out there, and there are things that are like, man, I think this is a really bad concept. But however, I do think labeling things good or evil is dangerous as well. Like there's no so he's saying there's no absolute good or evil, but values are relative is like, whoo, man, you are going to head down a dangerous, deadly path into wokeism, and values are not relative. Certain things, they're subjective, but man, they're not objective. There are absolute truths out there. There is values. I guess values, maybe you can say, okay. But man, that is a dangerous path ahead. There is no absolute good or evil. Absolute good or evil. If you watch my thing about what's good, what's evil, I do think labeling good or evil is not so good. It's kind of like Gollum. Like they thought Gollum was bad, but in the end, Gollum ends up saving them, pushing the ring into Mordor. So I think this is a good concept. There is no absolute good or evil. Yeah, that may be a good. I just say there's no absolutes. There's no absolutes, even though. Yeah. Anyway, whew, man, I'm digging myself into a deep hole. I should just be quiet. That's what I Ching said. Losing viewers. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever. It's my YouTube channel. It's your. Thanks for tuning in, folks that stick with me. Attachment overuse to a particular material will break nutritional balance. That's right. You keep using the same thing. You keep doing the same thing over and over. That is the definition of insanity. Overuse will break nutritional balance. You have to diversify, mix things up, and make sure you don't go insane. That's definitely important. Dividing good and bad microbes is wrong and arrogant. I'll go with that because the wrong microbes in little quantities can do a lot of good things. The wrong microbes in big quantities can do a lot of bad things. So good and bad is pejorative. Is pejorative the right word? Let's look here. Pejorative. Pejorative. Expressing contempt or disapproval. Maybe that's not the right word. That's not the word you were looking for. My vocabulary is not as big as I think. So dividing good and bad microbes is wrong and arrogant. I'm with that, right? Because people will say, oh, E. coli is bad, but then they use E. coli to GMO, all kinds of stuff. They use it a lot. It's the most man-made cultured bacteria out there, I think. E. coli, right? So people are like, E. coli is bad. It causes food poisoning. It can make you sick. And also salmonella. And they're like, those are bad, but that's not. That's just if you don't have lactobacillus, you don't have balance. What's the problem is out of balance, really. Out of balance. Balance is still there. Yeah, microbial knowledge is still in its infancy, totally. But the one thing that is true is balance. Balance is always in fashion, always in, when do you want to be out of balance, right? There's very few times you want to be in extremes. And, if you get out of here, you're going to swing the other way, man, balance. If a farmer does not understand good and bad are one, farming will fail. Yep. And I would say that this is the modern number one thing is that people are like I was watching the Florida Orange Association, and the guys are like, I've killed every microbe in my field. I've sterilized it. And it's like, bro, you've killed all your good microbes along with your bad ones. And no wonder you have bacterial problems, and no wonder there's rot and stuff going through your fields. Like, you gotta understand, you don't just go kill the bad ones. You gotta actually create the environment to facilitate the good, what you think is good. And what's good is balanced microbes that are well fed, and they will polymorphically change to be good ones, and they will go. Yeah, cool. Hank's still here. Cool. And Cecily, we got a few fans out there. Who knows? I always think it's funny. Like, YouTuber says one thing, it's like, I'm unsubscribing right now. It's like, whatever. If I was starting an OnlyFans channel and like promoting that, maybe you could unsubscribe. I'd say that's an allowable case. Not that I'm telling you what it is, but anyway. So farming is following nature, your friend and teacher, asking questions and walking together along the way. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. Following nature, which I think he's saying nature is your friend and teacher, asking questions and walking together along the way. That's what farming is, man. If you are cutting off nature and you're just following people with permanent head damage, also known as PhDs, you will end up going down and dissecting and scientifically going down a path that ignores the whole balance and the wholeness of everything. And so you got to be following nature and just observing. I think this is the observation loop, right? And constantly questioning yourself, questioning long-held beliefs, questioning everything. making observations, doing experiments, keeping science to be your number one friend, and trying to keep things in balance. I think that's what he's trying to say. I'm just going to ad lib and say that's what he's saying. Okay. Walk the path of the good and bad are one, right? I think this is the same with the Masonic checkerboard floor. They have the black and white floor, and it's like they got bad guys, they got good guys, and they're all together in this thing, and they got to realize that just like the yin and the yang, things go up, things go down, good happens, bad happens, you know, and you got to understand that what that does is it keeps you in balance, right? And having the good and the bad are one. It's like if you're going to try and kill the bad, then as soon as you've done killing the bad, now you have the next bad, and the bad becomes bad, and you'll forever be trying to eliminate the bad until you're now eliminating good as bad, and it is a deadly path to head down. You will kill things trying to eliminate the bad, so you're better off trying to balance things and promote the good. You promote the good, the bad gets gooder, or the good gets gooder, and the balance becomes more good, right? So anyway, I don't know how many times I can hammer that point and reword that same concept, but it's about natural farming is about balance. It's about balance. So do not be attached to any particular material. I like this. You know, some folks out there think one thing is good and use it all the time, but you know what it is, if you have one particular material, you will end up out of balance. It is about bringing a bunch of good things in there. Yes, we must keep balance in the Force. Yes, young Jedi. Yes, young grasshopper. The Goofman, he is the most knowledgeable dude that I've seen around. And if he says we must keep balance in the Force, it is true. Although, here I am saying don't do that. But okay, so walk without bias, leaning, imbalance, right? So he says don't imbalance yourself, right? And just keep moving forward. And so just you got to do it all. Farming is the middle way. Okay, man. Oh, this is good. You know, I didn't realize Young Song Cho's slides were so lit. These are lit. So the middle way, right? The middle way, the balance path, the center. And is the ultimate way of living, right? Knowledge in farming directly becomes knowledge of life. Because farming, farming is, farming is life, right? If you don't have a partnership with life and you are farming, you're probably doing it wrong. Just gonna let you know. But if you're doing KNF, you are knowledgeable about the life. You're putting biostimulants out there. You're putting the right things out there for things to be there. And so, yeah. And the more you farm, the more you will know. The more you know, the more you will live. And this, man, wow, this here, this should be the title of his book right here. Besides ultra low cost farming, farming is the middle way, is the ultimate way of living. Knowledge in farming becomes direct knowledge of life. Yes. This right here summarizes everything I was talking about right here. This one. And it's on page 32. Imagine that. Page 33, farming is the path of the sage. So, you know, you hear me talk in the beginning, I'll read from a certain book. It talks about the way of the sage, the path of the sage. It is the way of the natural farmer. I should just say the natural farmer and just replace that word, you know, the proper amount of sage for 2020. Fat sage thing. The wisdom of good and bad are one that you acquire through farming will open wisdom in social, philosophical, and religious paths. Yes. What could be better, right? Because farming not only makes you a better, you know, there's so many paths. You can hear me talk about it. Like if you ever listen to me talk and explain natural farming, I'm always talking about, you know, philosophical, spiritual, social, life dynamics, religion, all these things, because they all tie into natural farming, right? The ultimate source of our sustenance is agriculture, right? Like you could just say you're out there hunting and gathering, but at a certain point you have to do good game management. If you're just hunting and gathering, like if you just gather everything, you're going to do it. So in a sense, you're an agriculturalist, right? That is agriculture. And you're going to want to plant the berries that grow well closer to where you live. and you're going to want to, manage your game properly so you don't kill them all. So they vanish, right? So no matter what, even if you're hunting and gathering, you're involved in some level of agriculture. And all those things just go from, from the microscopic to the macroscopic, and the macroscopic back down to the microscopic. And that's why, doing this and being, when you understand farming, you understand society, you understand philosophy, you understand religious paths, you understand nature, you understand wisdom. And it's actually true wisdom, not just what we know, but like what we really know, right? And that's why in Korea, it is said that farmers are the great root of the world. I like this. These are the good slides. I'm glad we got into this presentation. I'm glad I found this information to share with you, because farmers are the great root of the world. Yes, absolutely. Like without a farmer, think like, you need a doctor once in a while. You need a dentist once in a while, maybe. You need a accountant once in a while, maybe. You need a, whatever. But you need a farmer 3 times a day, or however many times you eat, right? Somebody that produces the food, right? It's like, people will say the oldest profession is prostitution. But you know what? I think the oldest profession is actually food producer, like a chef or food producer, yeah, like it really is. You're the root of the world. You are the primary, like even prostitutes can't live without you, right? You need imagine, the farmers are the root of the world, right? So imagine what the Garden of Eden was like. Yeah, before you populate with a whole bunch of people, you probably could just live just like doing things. But then once you have a whole bunch of people, it's like, man, now you got to do resource management, all these things. Garden of Eden, some people say it is right here in Hawaii. If you get into the whole mythology of the lost tribes of Judah, and the Hawaiians were one of them, and that they sailed here and they found the Garden of Eden, were able to return to it up until 1775, when they were discovered here. And then anyway, but there's the Tahitians, there's a whole mythology. Human history is just wild. But yeah, there's no snakes here either, which is kind of interesting. So anyway, I like all this, man. This was good. The Good and Bad are one, and farmers are the root of the world. Like really like learning about agriculture, learning about balance, learning about those things. So without further ado, let's get into soil management. Why not, right? Why not? Soil management. So how does he do it? Well, how does he do it? Let's see. Oh, these are going to be a bunch of pictures. So what does he do? He says, check your compacted soil layer. So what is this? I think he's digging a hole and he's looking for compaction. Is that what he's doing? I don't know. Maybe this was an animated GIF. Maybe this is a surfboard right here. Surfboard. Mark Reuter would be on this surfboard. Check your compacted soil layer. Don't even check it. Just don't even, who cares if your soil's compact? Just start putting IMOs down there. So what does he do? This is roots that are just growing. Like this is compact soil. This is junk soil. Look at these roots. No life, no nothing. Trying to grow. Not very good root health. And then what does he do? He puts IMOs down there. And once he puts IMOs, look at all the life. Look at all the mycelia. Look at this stuff coming to life. Look at the compaction being relieved. Look at how easy that stuff flakes away. And then here, plant stretch out its roots. Plant roots stretch out early in the growth stage. That is the most important period. So try and get a lot of roots to go out. I think he just dug into this strawberry, and you really want the early roots, right? That's why the seed soak solution, soil prep solution, these are the most important. You want the roots to come out. And then look at this. If you don't, and they just grow, this is a plant that doesn't have good roots, it just balls up and stuff, you're gonna have disaster. That plant is always gonna have disease. However, yeah, look at this. It's just tied up, right? Because the plant, you just put it in a hole where there was no microbes around. There was no reason for it to grow. And what is this? I don't even know what that's a picture of. Oh, balled up roots, I think. Balled up roots. Again, like this is what will happen underground. So, oh my gosh. So, so you don't want that to happen. You want this to happen where they reach out. So put microbes out, enable the soil to ball up, enable them to reach out. Yeah. yeah, everyone's Garden Eden. Let's restore the whole earth to the Garden Eden. I was just talking with my wife the other day. It's like, what is my true mission, man? I really want to see the earth come back to life. I want to start with our land and make this better and do this thing. And if I ever make it big, man, I'm gonna invest all that money in there. So if you want to donate to me, help me on that path. That's what I want to do, and or just invest in yourself, make things good. So anyway, this last little bit here, we'll get into this. Yeah. The gator jokes out here, you guys. Yeah, the fear of gators. I've never had that. Gators are something I wear when I go wading. Not something that eats me when I go in the river. I tell you, no crocs in my river. Just fire ants. Just fire ants. Thanks. Whoever brought those to Hawaii, thanks. Thanks. Big shout out to you, fire ant importer. So make soil like leaf mold of nearby mountains. Do as nature does. So yeah. So if you have junk soil making your roots all junk and junk and junk like this, junk, that's the one I wanted to say. This one's good, but this one's junk, right? You don't have microbes, you don't have the soil stuff coming in. You want to make it like this. Well, then just go to the forest and grab them leaf mold and then multiply it to thousands and thousands and trillions and thousands of them, and do as nature does. Just multiply them by giving them some food, some starch, some water, some salt, and then dump that over, right? Cultivate the same microorganisms, right? You don't got to go to a store. You don't got to buy things. You don't got to get some special thing. Just take those microbes, mix them with liquid, and do it. And I talk a lot of trash about Jadam because it's ultra cheap, and it is very disgustingly cheap. But there's a lot of wisdom in it. It's just, I think Master Cho's methods are better. But this is just so affordable, so easy, so amazing, and it's based on pretty good principles here. I don't think he fully understands the scientific basis of this. Because in my talking with him and understanding, I don't think he fully understands as much as his father did. But hey, he gets it done, and gets it done cheap and easy, right? So he says, make rich, pure organic matter. Make diverse soil microorganisms. So if you look on my my channel here, let's see, you will see, let's see here, let me pull up a tab, go here to my channel. If you look on my channel, oh my gosh, it's so scrolled over. Okay, so scroll that back. So when I went and I looked, I'll just type in some Jadam. So it's not only about making your soil, it's making your soil good. So when I went here, this Korean 2016 tour, if you click on this one, I know, or here, the grape farm. This is actually the one I was looking for. Like, not only did he do this, it's like you start digging in his soil, you start looking in his soil, and this dude was bringing a whole bunch of charcoal. In addition to doing the microbes, he was also putting charcoal in there, right? And so making your soil rich. I mean, look at that. I think he has a handful of soil here. What's in Ray's hand? I don't know. Something. But this is what he's talking about, putting that organic matter in there, this here. So watch this video, if I'll link it in the chat. So if you made it this far, if you haven't watched this video, watch it. We'll see if the view count goes up from 3.3 thousand. Yeah, they spray chemicals. We spray JMS, this time, different fungi, so this here of like, how to do it, like make your soil rich in pure organic matter. So biochar plus the microorganisms in there. This is the key, right? You really want to grow well, do these things. You can drop leaves, all those things. They spray chemtrails. Yeah. Imagine you're doing JMS chemtrails. That'd be just amazing, right? When I make my money, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest in, microorganism upper atmosphere spraying, make diverse minerals and make diverse soil minerals, right? So seawater, that's again, super easy. So let's see here. We'll go, we'll get into this next picture because we're almost reaching time here. So yeah, so he's saying for 5,000 years, Korean organic farming was leaf mold of soil of nearby mountains or field. was at the center of our microbe utilization. So for 5,000 years, they were doing this in Korean ag. They were bringing down the leaf mold, putting it around, and that's what they were doing. And look, there was just rich, amazing soil, turning those granites into just amazing soil, right? So this is the truth, man. You bring down that stuff. Young-Sang Cho's methods are super easy, super cheap to do. It's a liquid method of this, but bringing those down, putting them into the soil. Look at that nice soil. Look, the roots can just reach through that, the airspace, everything. Like this is, imagine you were in sandy soil in Western Australia and you just dump tons of this, and then your soil turns to this, man. This is the answer. Elaine Ingham says that there is enough minerals or enough earth stuff in 2 grains of sand to feed like an acre. It's just unlocking it, right? And so unlocking it part by part, tiny bit by tiny bit, getting that energy out, flowing it, getting it to go. That's where it's at, right? So Marty has a question here. We'll get to that and then we'll end today. So it says, FPJ, so making KNF food super saturated, is the settled sugar usable? Needing every bit of plant juice for maintenance formula. The settled sugar is very thick and hardened. So if you saturated, so you oversaturated your plant juice and you have a ring of sugar on the bottom, which can happen if you oversaturate it, it's not necessarily usable as a plant juice. What I recommend to do is to scrape it out and bake cookies with it, because you're going to have an amazing taste to your cookies and you're going to have the best cookies on earth, assuming it was a good tasting plant juice, which most likely it was. And you're going to make nutritious cookies that way. But just using it itself, it's just sugar. So I don't recommend doing that. Because all your plant hormones, enzymes, endophytes, all the goods are out of there. So thanks to Steve from Australia for the endophytes in there. Amazing. Good stuff. Haven't seen him around for a while, but I hope he's doing well. Really, what a good guy. So anyway, well, it's 10 o'clock. I got other things to do today before we get to the meeting, but I wanted to remind you that, that today, if you are not a member of the Pure KNF Foundation, you can be one. Join today. We have a monthly membership meeting today. All of our members is at 2 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time today. So, what is that? 4 hours for me. We will be doing this. You can join in. You can be, it's slightly different of a meeting. It's through Zoom, so you guys can interact with each other as well as ask our speaker questions. We have a guest speaker today. It'll be Sue. She's talking about using the microbes in her health recovery and those types of things. And I know she's been working on her presentation all week. So it's going to be good, I hope. And she hopes so too. If you're not a member of Pure KNF Foundation, you should join, get in there. It's a great thing. Helps sponsor this office hour and all kinds of things. So appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate everything. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for sticking with me through all my crazy ranting about prepping. And, again, if stuff goes crazy outside, make sure you can return to your nest and you are sustainable within your own thing. Take the best advice of what I gave you. Work towards it. Do something. Long live the natural farmer. Love you. Live well. I'll see you later today and or next week. I'm going to switch this over here and peace, love, amazing. Thanks. Love you all. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go out. Bye. Love you. Bye.